So this tutorial is going to be on how to put images in front of text. Now, if you want a really easy way of doing it, look at the background video because you could just add a background to these paragraphs and that would make it easier. However, if you're wanting multiple paragraphs behind one image, this would be the way you do it. It is a little complicated. It's not too bad, but it is achievable. You've just got to make sure that you follow this video to the letter, and you'll realize how it works. So I've put an image in already, and obviously I've got my two paragraphs in there as well, just in case I need them for whatever reason. So if we check my thing, we can see that there's a big image here, and obviously the two pieces of text up there. So what I'm going to do is add a style. And I'm going to add P1, then P2, because that's the names of my paragraphs. I haven't given a name to my image. I'm going to now. So ID, I'm going to call it image 1, just to make it easy to remember. So hashtag image 1. Now, I've got all the things set up for this. Now, in order for this to work, these have to be in a container because they're all separate. So, you'll need to watch my video from previously about div tags. But div tags, for those of you who don't know, are divider tags. So, this is basically a box we can put all this stuff in. So now we've got this in a box. And I'm going to just give it the name of box for now. So I'm also going to just put these across so we can see that all these three things are within this box. So let's also have hashtag box like that. So we've now got a box where everything's in. So with the image, we need to give it a certain size. So let's put height as, say, 300 pixels and width as 300 pixels again. So let's just make it a box for now. So if we check our thing, we should see that we've got a nice box there, and we've got these. Now you can't see the div box around it. It's invisible. You cannot see it unless you tell it to have a border or anything like that. It is just invisible. So you might be thinking, well, this hasn't really solved my problem because these are still here and that's there. So with the paragraphs, you have to tell the position of them to be absolute. So what absolute does is it makes it relative to the box that it's in, i.e. the div box. So what it'll do is it'll say, right, put me absolute to where the div box is. So if I was to now put top as something like, I don't know, 5 pixels, and left 5 pixels, what top and left do is say, right, I want to be 5 pixels away from the top and 5 pixels away from the left. And it should be absolute to the box that it's in. So let's have a look, see if that's actually worked. Whoops, that's my background. Let's ignore that. And if you can see, it's already gone inside this other piece of text. It's already gone behind P2 because we've told it to. We've told it to be top from the top 5 pixels and from the left 5 pixels. And I believe the div box, if we were to press F12, yeah, so the div box is away from the top already, so that's why it's moved slightly. So that being said, let's also give P2 the same treatment. But this time, we're going to say bottom 5 pixels, and we'll keep it to the left. So one should be at the top, one should be at the bottom. So they should now not overlap, but we'll see what happens. Well, they haven't overlapped, but where's it gone? So let's have a look at our div box. So P2 is behind P1 still. Now, the reason for this is because they have essentially slid on top of each other. So even though I've told it to go to the bottom by so much and the top by so much, it's still slid in the wrong place. It's not as simple as just telling it to go from the top and left. It will work. It's because we're missing something specific in particular. So what that is that our image that we've got has to basically have, well, we've given it a width and height already. The box that's around it has to be something called, and let's put it back up, has to be something called relative. So we need to give the box position relative, like that. So what relative means is it's how it's positioned in the actual web page itself. So the box itself should now have tops, bottoms, lefts and rights on it because it's relative to the page. So the text should now move within the box because the position of the box is now relative. And lo and behold, they've moved. So if you look, the box, it will span the entire page. It always spans the entire page anyway. So that's gone to the top, that's gone to the bottom. However, we told it to be to the left. So let's try moving it to the right instead, shall we? So where it says left 5 pixels, let's try right. So that should now put it to the right of this page. Let's have a look. And it has done. Obviously with the image, you can make the image as big as the box that it's in. So if we were to go on to as code again, so we've given it a height of 300 pixels and 300 pixels. If you want it as big as the actual box that it's in, you would tell it to have a width of 100%. Oops, not 105, 100%. There we go. So 100% means that it's the percentage of the box that it's in, i.e. the div box, this div box here. So if we test this out, see what it's done. There you go. So it's the width of the box now. This thing's at the bottom there, and this thing's at the top left there, as we told it to. If anybody's got any other questions about this, because on first glance, it looks quite scary because I've just typed in quite a lot of code that you've not really seen before, but literally, all it is you need to remember that these position absolutes mean that it stays on or in the box where you've told it to. So we told P1 to stay at the top left, so from the top by 5 pixels and from the left by 5 pixels. And because it's absolute, it will always stay at the top left of that box that we put it in. And as you can see, there is a little bit of sort of 5 pixels to the left, 5 pixels from the top. If we were to F12 it doesn't look like there's it's moved, but it has moved slightly. It's because there's margin on it. That's why it's moved down quite a bit. If you can see the orange bars on it, that's why it's sort of moved up a little bit from the top and the bottom. But it's actually put it to the bottom and to the top left, like you asked it to. So it does work. You have to make the box relative, because if you do not make the box, so this box that everything's in, so this entire box, if you do not make it relative to this page, it means that the things inside it can't be absolute. If we were to take out relative, so just give the box its automatic default features, you'll see that the text has gone behind it, or gone to the bottom of the page there. Look, it's not actually gone relative to how big the image is. So it's down here, you can't see it, it's actually gone off screen. If I shrink this, you should be able to see it actually. So let's shrink this. And there you go, it's gone right to the bottom instead of right to the bottom of the image. So if you don't have absolute, it's not going to put it to the bottom like it should. It will put it in a random place, usually at the bottom of the entire web page. So make sure that if you do ever do this, make sure that you make the box relative, otherwise this will not work properly. I'd say have a play about with it, see what you think. If anybody's got any questions about this, you don't have to put this in your website. It was just for those people that asked. Please let me know if you get stuck on this, and I will try and help you out in lesson, or I will put up another video that explains it in a bit more detail.